Welcome to Accuracy International at an unknown location in the UK.
This is the home of the AWP. Boom.
Okay, so Tom, we're in Sniper 1. First thing I have to say is I love the decor, love what you've done with the place, but I guess we should talk some business here. You know, we had a look around your machine shop and we saw loads of machines wearing away and liquid getting sprayed all over the place. Frankly, I had no idea what was going on. So what is going on in the machine shop?
Well, we're manufacturing all of the components, all the metal turning components and the milling components, and they make up the firing train and the chassis parts, and then they all come together in the end to form the rifle.
Okay, so we've seen where the parts get manufactured. Now maybe we can see where they get assembled.
Okay, we'll go down there now.
All right.
Okay, so this is the assembly area, this whole floor, and we start the flow here. In this station, we'll do the bolt assemblies.
Oh, that's heavy.
And then at this station, we will do the trigger. So as we move down this line, we'll start assembling the firing train parts onto the chassis components. We keep flowing down here, and you can see the rifle starting to come together. At this point, we've now got the butt on it. And if you look at these rifles here, these ones are at the point that they're just about ready for test firing. So that leads us to the armory, which is where you'll go in and meet Dave Walls. Dave's the original designer. He'll tell you about his garden shed, and this is his new garden shed.
Awesome. Thank you,
Tom.
The gun in the game that's really famous and why we're here is the AWP, also known as the big green gun. Does that all match up in real life?
Not quite, because the AWP in actual fact was a police model of the AW, and they were black. The AW was originally designed, it was, if you like, the Mark II of the L96, for want of a better way of explaining it. We had the L96, which the British government had. Then we brought out the AW rifle, and it was designed for the Swedish Army to use in Arctic warfare conditions. That's why it was called the AW. So that's the difference in the two. Although the actual fundamental parts of the gun are the same, the differences in the colour and maybe a few adjustments on the stock, that's all.
But there is an AWM, right? Because in the game there was an AWP and an AWM.
Yeah, the AWM was brought into being because one day Malcolm showed me a 300 Winchester Magnum cartridge and said, it's a pity we don't have a rifle that can shoot this. So I thought about it while driving home from work one day, and I decided if I measured the 308 cartridge and the 300 Winchester Magnum cartridge, and I come up with 18mm difference in length. So I increased the chassis by 18mm and made an AW Magnum.
And did you make it green?
I made it green.
Aha! There we go.
I see there's a green gun over there. Is that an AWM or an SM? So now there's a question as to, is it an AWSM in the game, in the current game, or is it actually an AWP?
This is actually an AWSM, this particular gun.
Yeah.
It actually says so on the side of the action. Basically, it's the same as an AWM, just the AWM was a 300 Winchester Magnum, the AWSM is a 338 Lapua Magnum. This has got green tape all over it because the military obviously don't want shiny guns, so they cover it with tape and then they spray it to something like the colours that they would need for the camouflage where it's going to be
It's like a safari. Yeah, that looks really cool. So as we understand it, the AWP is discontinued now.
Yeah, the AWP has been discontinued. It's now basically it's the AT model, but the action itself is exactly the same. There's a few differences on obviously the chassis is totally different. We've learnt a few lessons where with the earlier AWs to put the magazine in was a problem because you used to have to lift the rifle up, bring the magazine in, whereas on the later ones they're cut away in the side here so as you can actually side load the magazine, so the sniper doesn't actually break his position to change the magazine.
So as I understand it, some of the newer models of sniper rifles that you have, everything mechanically is the same as an AWP, but you have some...
On the firing train parts like the bolt, the shroud assembly, the action body and the barrel, yeah, they're all the same.
So is this, I think there's another weapon over there, is that an AWP-esque gun?
That's, I'll put that one back there a minute. This particular one is a black AX, but normally it would have been sandy colour or green. But this particular one is an AX, but I thought it was an AT because generally the ATs are black because they're police models.
So this is black as a AWP would have been. So mechanically, will this produce the same sound as an AWP then?
Oh yes, exactly the same. The only difference you will ever get with the sounds is with different barrel lengths. You know, obviously a shorter barrel will make a slightly larger crack than a longer barrel.
Okay, so I guess we've got two guns to test then, rather than just
ready,
the one.
But I think it's time to shoot one of them, James.
I think it's time to shoot both of them.
But yes, both of them. Let's do it.
Right.
Well, basically, we usually test our weapons from a bipod. We use what we call a bean bag under the back end. We adjust the crosshairs on the scope to get a nice clear image. Then we adjust what we call a parallax. So when you look through the viewfinder of the scope, if you move your eye from side to side or up and down, it doesn't change the position of the crosshairs actually on the aiming mark.
Okay.
And then basically all we do is we put the magazine in, like this. You put your ear defenders on, right? And you get behind it, goes the bolt, and basically you're ready to fire.
That's so loud.
Right. Now, really, I suppose it'd be better if you had a go yourself and see what you think. So, we need to push the bolt forward. We need to do this.
Ah, yes, okay.
Back forward and down. Right.
Okay, I'm squeezing the bag to get to my target, and
When you've got it on the aiming mark, just squeeze the trigger.
oh my god.
You call action, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Fire the gun.
Jesus Christ. That is insane.
So Dave, this time we have another gun which on paper isn't the AWP, but as I understand it, mechanically speaking, it's the same as an AWP and therefore will produce the same sound?
Yes, it's basically the same action as an AWP. The actions haven't really changed much over the last 30 years. What does change is the furniture and basically making it usability for different environments, like a police would have a slightly different stock to, say, the military.
Okay. Well, please fire us a shot and we'll see how it sounds.
Okay.
Wow. Well, the thing is, I still jump, but you can kind of tell the difference though. Like you can tell the caliber is lower.
Yeah, but you just never see it coming, right? This is crazy.
Right, James, so it's that time. We have to give our verdicts of what we think the sounds are actually like compared to in-game versus real life.
We have to give the snipers back then.
I know.
They won't let us take them home.
So what we got from this is the same caliber and the same. We should have had the same sound. And when we fired it, I felt like the sound was quite similar actually.
Yeah. So as far as the AWP goes, everything relative to firing the bullet is the same in this gun. So yeah, I agree with you. I think it sounded very similar to the one in the game, which is really cool. But again, there are some discrepancies with what's in the game in the sense of, it's called AWP, but all the AWPs were black.
Yeah.
The one in the game
police,
is green,
yeah.
which is an AW, which is what this is. But it sounds most like that one. Which is, well, I mean, again, this is a true AWP as far as the mechanism goes. So yeah, it gets a bit complicated. But again, this is an AWSM, if I'm not mistaken. And the older games used to have AWM, AWSM, and AWP. So you would think maybe the name is interchangeable, but they're all different guns. So it becomes really cool, and it kind of gives you more history of the AWP. So it's been really cool. I think that one sounded the most similar. This one's more powerful, and I enjoyed shooting this one more, and even the loading mechanism is really awesome as well, and very satisfying. So I had a great time.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I didn't have any idea that the Arctic Warfare Magnum was originally. I mean, Arctic Warfare. Okay, we can kind of understand it was made to deal with some cold climates, but we got some in-depth explanations as to exactly who in those Arctic environments were after that order of sniper rifles and how they wanted to modify it for their conditions. It was the Swedes, of course. The Swedes, they're pretty well known to be pretty good at Counter-Strike. So I like that kind of coincidence in that sense. It has a lot more kind of little grooves and so on to deal with the kind of cold, wet and icy conditions to make sure that the gun doesn't kind of lock up on them and cause them problems. So yeah, very, very cool. I mean, I think we could go on for ages about the stuff that we learned.
No, you can.
I could, yeah.
In general.
Yeah, in general, yes. But I suppose that about does it here for our time at Accuracy International.
And thank you to Accuracy International for giving us such access and having great hospitality as well.